Hi, welcome back, my dear students. I hope you're having a great day. Today is an awesome day to be learning some more PHP in object-oriented programming. Now, go to your init.php, all right, because I believe in the last lectures we were messing around with this a little bit. So, some of you might have this commented out like this. Make sure that it is uncommented, all right. Make sure that your admin underscore content doesn't have that instance that we were playing around with testing our application with the functions with the auto load. All right, so make sure all that is clear. That way when you come here to your admin, you don't get that error that we were getting there when we were testing. All right, so once that's clear, then I want you to come back to your includes, right click, or create a new folder in there, a new file. Call this session.php. All right, save it, open your PHP tags, and this is where we're going to be creating a session class that's going to manage our login system. It's going to be really awesome. So the first thing that we got to do is we got to go back to init.php, and we have to include it right here. All right, so let's include our session.php here. That way we can use it anywhere we want. Now, one thing that I've been wanting to do here is that we should be using another function here called require once. For those of you that don't know about require once, it's just a more secure method of not having this included anywhere else. So this is just gonna make sure that it is required, and if it's not there, it's gonna give us a really nasty error, right? So make sure that if you want to find out more about require once, you can always look up php.net. So I'm just gonna replace all of this for require once, because include will give us a warning, not a failure, like a really big error like require once. All right, so I like require once, is more secure. All right, so now that we have it here, we also have to go to header and do this require once here too. All right, so I think this is more, I think it's a lot better. All right, so now to go back to your session.php here, let's create the class. All right, so I'm gonna create a class called session, and the first thing that we want to do is, all right, is that we want our session to be available every time the application is on. Every time somebody's in our website, we want the session to be available, because we want to check if the user is logged in or if the user is not logged in. And then if, depending on that condition, we want to do something with the information, right? So if for some reason the user is logged in, we want to redirect the user to admin. If it's not, then we want to take him back to the login page. All right, if we don't have that user anywhere, then we don't do anything with it, right? So the first thing that we want to do is instantiate, not only instantiate, but turn on sessions, all right, automatically. So let's create a construct function that will help us out on that. Construct. This will automatically, right now we are going to be starting a session. There we go. And this is how we start sessions. All right, for those of you that don't know about sessions, you might get a little lost on this one, but the good news is that I have another course, which is the PHP for beginners, that could help you out a lot. All right, so if you find yourself lost until now, that's because you don't have those basics that you need. So you need to stop the course, go back and take that PHP course. That's going to help you out a lot. That way you can come back here and keep going. All right, just in case some of you are lost. Anyway, so we started a session. Now, we're telling PHP, listen, I want you to start a session if you don't have one. And if you have one, I want you to, get that user's file and get it ready for me, right? So once we do this, we also need a couple properties here, a couple class properties or attributes. All right, the first one that I want to do is we want to have this property called signed in, and this is something I'm making up, and as you can see, it's a variable. All right, but we call them property when they are inside the class. Remember that. I also want to be able to handle the user, so let's create another one called the user ID. And the sign in one, I want to make this private, because we're just gonna have a method to check. All right, a method assigning different values to this property right here. All right, and this one we can actually use in the public section, because we are going to be using the user ID to do some things around. All right, So perfect. So we have the class, the session class here. We have some properties that we are going to be using in our methods, and then we are starting a session automatically every time we open our application. Now, this is not going to work unless we instantiate it. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so let's create a variable for it to hold that, and let's just say new session. There we go. All right, so that session is going to be created automatically, and our class is just starting to take some shape. This is gonna be a great section here in this course. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the next steps for the next lectures. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it up. You're doing a great job if you're keeping up with me. I'm really proud of you. So let's go to the next one.